Hello everyone, welcome once again to the Career Coaching Academy. I'm glad you are here. I'm glad you have tuned in to watch today's session. And in today's session, we are going to be discussing the CV. We are going to look at every aspect of a CV. What is a CV? What's a resume? The differences between them, what a professional summary, working experience, how to put all of those things together to be able to put yourself out there so that you can get the job you are desiring to get. Now, if you are new to this channel, my name is Eunice Gyimah and this is the Career Coaching Academy, where we discuss everything you need to know about your career and your career growth. And so if you are interested, stay tuned, let's learn more, invite your friends, share this content to as many people as possible, and let's learn something new. Thank you. Click on that button, share. So we're going to be jumping straight in today's lesson, and like I said earlier, we are going to be discussing the CV. What is a CV, and also what is a resume? A CV is a detailed document highlighting your professional and academic history. CVs typically include information such as your working experience, achievements and awards, scholarships or grants you have earned, coursework, research projects, and publications of your work. You may be asked to present a CV when you are applying for a job. A resume, on the other hand, is a formal document that serves to show a person's career background and skills. In most cases, it is created in order to help a candidate land a job. A traditional resume consists of professional summary, work history, and educational sections. It works like a job hunt marketing document. So most people will be wondering, what is the difference or what are the similarities between a CV and a resume? The difference lies in very simple items and sometimes are based on the country you are coming from. A CV is normally very long and covers your entire career, whilst it is also most of the time static. A resume is, however, short and doesn't follow any particular format or rule, and is mostly highly customizable. Now, depending on the country you are coming from, you might be using a CV or a resume. A resume is normally preferred in application documents in the US and in Canada. In the UK, Ireland, and New Zealand, a CV is used in all contexts and resumes aren't used at all. In Ghana, these terms are mostly interchangeable. Now, what are the most important sections of a CV or a resume? The first one is contact details. Now, when we mention contact details, we are talking about your name, your email address, and your phone number. You could add your home address if it's if it's an address that is mostly used, or your GPS address if it's necessary. The next area is a professional summary. Now, we are saying that a CV and a resume should have a professional summary rather than an objective statement or a personal profile. And then we would go more in depth and look into it to explain. Also, you would need to have your working experience, which should indicate at least 6 maximum points or 6 minimum points of what you have done, which includes your achievements in any job you have worked in. Then your educational section. Now, in this section, you need to keep it very simple: your degree title, the name of school, and the year in which you attended, and the year you graduated. Then the skills section. Here we are looking at a maximum of 6 strong skills that are relevant to the job you are applying for. That is also a skill you have. And so we are not looking at skills you are just going to copy from the internet, but it's skills you have and are relevant to the job you are applying for. Other possible sections that you could consider when developing a CV or a resume could include your international experiences, professional affiliations and memberships. So if, let's say, you are affiliated to ACCA, ICA, any of them, you need to add them to your CV or your resume. Publications and presentations, they are also very necessary. Languages that you speak, especially when you are looking for jobs that require different ability to speak and understand different languages, community service or voluntary services when they are required, technological skills such as your computer skills and computer literacy, honors and awards, and leadership activities. These are also some possible sections you can consider when developing your CV or your resume. What not to put on a CV? And this is a very important section because we normally find this in people's CV. When I work on people's CVs, when I get to help people, organizations with recruitment, these are some of the things you find on a CV, and they are really not important, but you would find them there. One, the date of birth and your age. This is very irrelevant. It doesn't add to anything. Sometimes it even prevents an employer from calling you for an interview because they might think you are too young or you are too old. And so even before you are given the opportunity, you are exempted from the application. And so don't bring your date of birth and your age. Irrelevant working experience. If the working experience, especially for internships that were really not relevant to your career path, it will be very necessary to take them out. Lies. This is very important. Most people just tend to lie because they need to fill up spaces. No, leave the gaps if there are gaps. It's better to leave it than to lie. Marital status. This is also another area that can put off an employer or a potential employer. And so it's very necessary for you to just ignore it and take it out. No one needs to know your marital status. Religion, social security number, hobbies, objective, references. Now, references is a dicey issue when it comes, depending on which country you are coming from and depending on the kind of request the employer is putting in. However, in most situations, we advise that applicants do not put in their references when writing a CV. However, if the job advert or the job advert states clearly that you should add 2 or 3 references, it is important that you add it before sending your CV. Then less professional emails. We have people who put in all kinds of absurd email addresses. sexymama@yahoo.com, comehome@gmail.com. All of these things are very unprofessional. And so you need to take it out and use a very professional email address, such as your name, Eunice Gyimah@gmail.com. Kate Close. It's very professional and it's straight to the point, and anyone that picks it knows you're a serious-minded person. Then your salary information, you don't need to indicate how much you are being paid in every job on your CV. Official company lines at your current job. Whenever you are putting in your contact details, do not use official company lines at your current job in your CV. It's not necessary. Photo of yourself. Sometimes people put their photos on their CV and the picture is not appealing enough. And unfortunately, this tends to put off any potential employer because when they look at your face, they don't see anything or they don't think you are beautiful or handsome enough. Now, this is unfortunately very bad because the person might not look as bad as the picture portrays. And especially when you take a very blunt passport picture, we all know how our passport pictures are not as nice as our selfie pictures. And so why put that picture on your CV? Why let it represent you? It's better to just take it off. When the person invites you for an interview, they can see your face clearly and decide. Unless it's a request that you should add a photo of yourself, it's really not necessary to put your photo on your CV. Then the next one is your grades. It's also not important. And your physical description. I'm a tall, I'm short, I'm 5 feet, I'm this. It's really not important to put all of those things on your CV. The next thing that we are going to look at is things to do before sending a CV or your resume. Before you forward a CV or your resume to a potential employer, These are the things you need to look at. One, check grammar. It's very sad when you read a CV and sometimes you cannot understand the grammar the person has written. They are mixing is and was, are and that, and it's so sad. And these are things that put off potential employers. So check your grammar. We have Grammarly online that you can use to check your grammar. If you cannot use that or you cannot afford that, just give your CV to someone, another person, two or three people to go through, and they'll be able to give you their opinion on some grammatical statements you have made in the document. The next thing is to check for keywords. Now, it is when you are applying for a job, and this is one thing I find that people do not do. Most of the times, we just apply, we sit behind the PC, and then we keep clicking apply, apply, apply. And especially if you are doing LinkedIn easy apply systems, you are likely to just keep applying without even reading through the content of the job that you are applying for. Now, when you are applying for any job, you need to go through the job description of the job ad that has been posted, and then look at your CV and compare whether your CV has the keywords in the job description that is you're in the job ad that you are applying for. These keywords are supposed to guide you and make your CV trackable by any applicant tracking system. So applicant tracking systems are online or softwares that most organizations use when doing job recruitment. Sorry, when doing recruitment. These applicant tracking systems help to reduce or help to sort out and track the best people that would fit for the role that has been posted. And so when you apply through online means, the system is able to sort out based on specific keywords. Let's say one keyword is Bachelor of Science in Administration. And then you go and you write Bachelor in Administration. If the keyword is administration, you are likely to be picked because they found administration in your CV. However, if you wrote Bachelor of Arts, because you are not in the Bachelor of Science Administration, because you are not in the administration section and you wrote arts, you are likely not to be picked because the keyword there was administration, not arts. So this is just one example. Now, a CV or a job description is filled with so many keywords. You are not expected to have all keywords in your CV. However, you are supposed to have as many as possible. And so it is necessary for you to compare whether your CV matches the job you are applying for, and not just use one CV to apply for as many jobs as possible. Always customize your CV to fit the job you are applying for. Now, this means a lot of work will go into it, but then that also means that you are actually putting in the work to ensure that your CV is seen by the right people and your CV is not trashed and tossed away like the many others that has been tossed away. Also, when you are doing preparing your CV, one of the things you need to check out for is too long sentences. Sometimes our sentences are just too long and people get tired of reading them. Let's just take a typical example, a professional summary. If a professional summary is, let's say, 4 or 5 lines, you cannot put all of that in one sentence. It will be necessary to break it into 2 or 3 sentences so that it makes sense and it's easy to read. Also, you need to check for the length of your resume. Now, CVs that have or resumes that have long, too many pages are never really read. So it's important to have at least a minimum of 2 pages if you have less than 10 years working experience. The more working experience you have, yes, the more number of pages that you are going to have in your CV or your resume. But can you imagine having 3 years working experience and having a 5-page CV? What exactly have you filled in the 5 pages? It means that there are a lot of unnecessary information in that document, and this could easily be tossed away. So try and limit your CV to at least 2 pages and make sure that it has only the most important information in the document highlighted on your CV. The rest of it are not important and shouldn't be highlighted at all. The next area we are going to be looking at is professional summary as compared to the objective statement. Now, an objective statement focuses on the job seeker. They are concise and tailored to the job you are applying for. They take up space without offering value to the employer. A summary statement or a professional summary, on the other hand, highlights the job seeker's skills and the proven ways in which they have used those skills to achieve results. Specifically, summary statements use work history to show the hiring manager why the job seeker is the best fit for the position. Now, a typical example, most objective statements are going to say things like this: I'm Eunice and I am seeking to work in an organization that offers ABC, that has good working conditions, where I can improve upon my skills and become better and develop myself. That is an objective statement. It's telling the employer where you want to be, who you want to be. When I read your objective statement, I only hear what I want you to do for me. I don't hear what value are you offering to me. You get the difference. An objective statement says, please, I want ABC. A professional summary, on the other hand, says, I have ABC and I can do ABC for you. And based on that, you need to employ me. So a professional summary will normally say things such as, I have gained experience in customer service. I have been able to maintain our customer loyalty to 90%. And I was awarded as the best customer service manager in 2 years continuously. Based on these things, any employer that sees this is going to say, this person has what I need. He has achievement, he has results. And so perhaps you might have the results and everything. However, because you are not bringing them out, the employer looks into your document and realizes that this person doesn't have what I need for my organization. He's not offering any value to my organization, as compared to a professional summary that shows the kind of value you are likely to give them. Now, the professional statement summary or a summary statement will say, with 15 years of financial planning experience, I have maintained over 200 client relationships while helping develop and eventually managing the company's CRM system. Any employer is going to go for someone who wrote the summary statement because he is offering value. In the example, he says he has maintained over 200 client relationships, and he hasn't just maintained them, he actually moved on to manage them. And so this shows them potential employer that this is someone who has what I want in my organization, as compared to the one saying, I'm looking to work in an organization in a search engine position in an advertising industry. So let's consider moving from objective statements, personal profiles, and all of that, and rather focus more on professional summaries. So that being said, we move on to what should my professional summary include. Now, a CV or a resume summary is also called a professional summary, as we said. It's a 3 to 5 sentence paragraph at the top of your CV, right below your contact details. Its purpose is to describe your professional experience and give preview to your strongest assets. So these are the things you should consider: your key skills, your achievements, and your area of expertise. Your key skills, achievements, and area of expertise. So between 3 and 5 sentences, you should be able to clearly define your key skills, your achievements, and your area of expertise. Some other examples of professional summaries we would have here is a marketing manager with over 8 years of experience Proving success in running email and marketing campaigns and implementing marketing strategies that have pulled in a 20% increase in qualified leads. Proficient in content, social media, and inbound marketing strategies. Skilled, creative, and innovative. Another one or another example could also, which we have here, is a warehouse supervisor. So he is applying for a warehouse supervisor, I believe. And it says a warehouse supervisor with management, customer service, and forklift experience. So if you look at these two different professional summaries, the second one, which talks about the warehouse supervisor, what the person has done is to highlight three main skills and then go into more of sentences to explain who he is better. The first one clamps everything together. The second one defines who he is and then begins to put them out in sentences. Sometimes people too might just put out their warehouse supervisor and then write out his professional summary. This is just to kind of garnish it and make it more exciting and interesting for the reader. So here it talks about dependable manager with 15 plus years experience. So, and don't be bothered about the number of years of experience you have. Be more concerned about what you have been able to achieve. We go back, your key skills, your achievements, and your areas of expertise. Those are the things you need to look at. Those are your strongest assets you need to put out there. And so it's not necessarily how many years you have worked, but rather what you are giving to them. What is your asset? What value are you adding to the organization? And so here it says dependable manager with 15 years plus working experience in warehouse management and employee supervision. Skilled at managing inventory control, shipping and receiving, customer relations, and safety and compliance. Certified power equipment trainer, forklift operator, and reach operator, skilled at coaching other staff. Promoted to positions of increased responsibility, giving strong people and project management skills. So here we have summarized who he is. And so when you pick up this CV, you might not necessarily go through the whole document to read everything. Right at the beginning, you get an understanding of who the person is. And this is more or less like your pitch. And we spoke about your pitch last week. How are you going to pitch? If you have a 60-second pitch, most of the times research has shown that employers or potential employers have only 8 to 15 seconds to look through your CV. Something should catch his eye, and a well-done professional summary is what is going to make the potential employer or recruiter move forward to read the rest of your CV. The next is your work experience, and we are going to look at how to list work experience. This section comes right after your professional summary for most experienced workers. First is the title of the job you held or you currently hold, the start and end dates of each of these jobs, the name of the company, and then 6 strong duties you performed in the role with at least 2 quantifiable achievements. So you need to state 6 strong duties you have performed in the role with at least 2 quantifiable achievements you have had. So this is very necessary. You cannot just work in an organization without any form of achievement. You need to be able to quantify them and put them out there in your working experience. We have an example of a digital marketing manager, and I think most of my examples are marketing related. A digital marketing manager, and if you look at the first achievement or task, it says created a new format for reporting and presenting the sales, customer engagement, and Google AdWords reports that shortened the meetings by 30%. That is proving quantifiable results. The second one says, updated and monitored the bid strategy in Google AdWords campaign and increased CTR, that's click-through rates, by 4% in the first month. So this person has clearly defined what he did on the job by also adding quantifiable achievements to them. Now it says at least two, and he virtually did them in most of his, in the three of them. Here, you are letting the employer or the potential employer or the recruiter understand that I didn't just go to work to do ABC, but I actually achieved something whilst I was working. And this is very important for everyone when you are writing your CV. You need to put out there quantifiable achievements so that your employer can, or the potential employer can actually be excited to employ you. So it's not just putting out there, I was filing, I was taking care of stationery. When you were taking care of the stationery, or when you were placed in charge of stationery, what were you able to achieve? Let's say I was able to reduce stationery purchasing by 30% because I put in the system that helped manage stationery distribution. And once stationery was distributed well, and people, you could trace who went for what, it also meant that people couldn't just come and say, oh, I need a new stationery because I didn't get one, or someone would just come and say, oh, I never got a stationery, when in actual sense he got it, but because you didn't have any records. And so you putting that in your CV in one or two sentences will tell them potential employer that if I pick this person to be in charge of my stores, this person can be able to ensure that the things in the stores are managed well. So it applies for every role. You understand? You need to be able to put in quantifiable achievement, and at least two of them. The next thing that is also important when putting out your working on your skills and your experiences are keywords. And I said earlier on that when you are sending out your CV, you need to look at the employer's job description in the job ad and see if you have keywords that match your CV. So keywords are keywords are words or short phrases that relate to particular requirements for a job. They are skills, abilities, credentials, and qualities that a hiring manager look for in any candidate. Most companies use automated applicant tracking systems, that I already said, also known as talent management systems, to screen candidates for a job opening. A customer service representative could have keywords such as customer service, customer tracking system, computer skills, order entry experience. These are keywords that would be in the job ad, and the expectation is that you would have such keywords in your CV. So if you are doing let's say digital marketing, a keyword such as SEO should be in your CV. If you are into human resource, recruitment, training, performance management, these are words that we need to find in your CV because they are keywords that the employer is likely to look for when he wants to employ someone within your range. Then we also have power words or action words or power verbs. Power words or action words are words that you could use in your resume to describe your professional skills, your tasks and achievements at work in a short and powerful way. Typically, they are action verbs, but adjectives are also considered very good words for resumes. So some of the examples of action words would be, instead of using responsible for ABC, you could say I improved that, and that. Instead of saying I worked with, you could also say I collaborated on a team that did ABC. Instead of saying in charge of, You could rather say directed 20 employees to blah, blah, blah. So with these power words and action words, you can use them in your skill section. You can use them in your um, working experience section. Once again, we've come to yet another successful end of today's meeting. We have learned a lot. We have gone through the CV. We talked about the professional summary. We talked about keywords. We talked about action, verbs. We've talked about so many things. If you have any questions, please put them down in the comment section and I'll reply them as and when you post your questions or your comments. Let's engage more, and hopefully next week we'll have yet another exciting content out there so that we can learn together and develop ourselves together. Have a lovely week. Bye.